Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Subhash Bhai.
Om Shanti.
Welcome.
Om Shanti Subhash Bhai.
Om Shanti, everyone.
Shanti, and Pushika Ben is also arriving here in a bit. So again, happy Friendships Day. Today is the Friendships Day. So we're all friends for how long? How long have we been friends?
84 birthdays.
Yeah, eternal. Yeah, the entire cycle. Because we're all souls in the spiritual journey, and so we're all spiritual friends. And not only us, everyone in this world is our friend. And who is our best friend on this journey? Hello, Pushika.
Baba, Shiv Baba.
The divine God is our best friend. And they say a friend in need is a friend indeed. Yeah, you know, generally when we are growing up, we have a lot of, it's like in our school days, we make a lot of friends, and then in our college, we have a lot of friends. And then, you know, it's like, and many times whenever we remember, whenever we have a reunion, what do we do? Whenever we have a reunion of friends, what do we do? Yeah.
Remember the good old days.
Yeah, that's right. We get together and we just talk about our good old days. We say, okay, this is how it used to be. And we feel very nostalgic about it. And whenever we do that, we feel very good. Hello, Pushika Benai. Hello, Kijiye Sabko.
Om Shanti, everybody.
Om
Om Shanti, Poshika Ben.
Om
Om Shanti. Om Shanti,
Om
Pushika Ben.
Shanti. Pushika.
Om Shanti, everybody. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, all of you. Happy Friends Day.
Ji, happy Friends Day.
Happy Friends Day, all of you.
Yeah, happy Friends Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Friendship Day.
It's like whenever we get together, we remember, no? And then we feel so close. We feel, how do we feel? Whenever we get together with friends and remember the way it used to be, maybe the street with, you know, at which we used to play cricket, or, you know, the path that we used to take to go to our school, the desk at which, you know, the bench at which we used to sit, our teachers, our professors, and, you know, the way we used to maybe celebrate, go out for a picnic, all those days, all those memories. The moment we remember, how do we feel?
Joyful.
Joyful. Yeah. That moment, yeah, right? Yeah.
And very free, very free.
Free.
With
Right.
each other.
Yeah, right.
With each other, we feel very free
Very
and connected.
Connected. Absolutely. And if we are going through any hard time in our present life, then the moment we connect to those good old memories, we feel like like a curtain is lifted up. We are suddenly transported into those beautiful moments and memories. Right? And so this whole feeling of returning back to our, when we say returning home, home is like, what feelings does the word home bring into our heart? What do we feel when we think of the word home?
Love.
Love, right?
Safety.
Comfort.
Safety, comfort, right? Very nice.
Happiness.
Happiness, right? We all have a very close connection with our motherland. Yeah, that's why they say, okay, even after I die, please send my ashes to my motherland, right? That's what they say, so that they are buried over there. And so there's such a deep connection, right, with our home, that the place of origin, where we feel we belong there. So in the same way, today the thought was to to take up this subject of this feeling of returning home. So one is the home for our body, where we, were born, and our family, where how we were raised and brought up, our friends and everything, environment, maybe the city where we grew. We all have good memories. The food that we used to eat, right? Our mothers used to cook such amazing food. We all remember, right? And so one is the home for the body. And what is the other home?
For the soul.
Yeah, home for the soul, right? So just like when we get together, we talk about our good old days, and that suddenly transports us. It takes us back, into those beautiful moments, and we just feel like a deep longing. Just feel like being there. We say longing and belonging. So we feel, that longing to belong over there. So in the same ways, like our spiritual home also. So where is our spiritual home?
Param Dham.
We say Param Dham, or the dimension which is beyond. What is it beyond? That Param Dham, or the silent space, we say it is beyond.
Space and time.
Beyond time, right?
Space.
Sound. Beyond sound. It's just a dimension of pure light. We will look into little bit about how meditation is all about feeling nostalgic about my home and family. Sometimes I was just talking to someone this morning. Today is Friends Day, right? So just connecting with old friends. And so just talking about this, like this feeling of being nostalgic. So meditation is feeling nostalgic about our real home, our real family, our real parents. So we have a few slides. Let us go through them. The slides visible? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, brother.
So what do we like in this image? Do we like the sun? Do we like the birds? Do we like the flight? Do we like that we are flying back home?
Yeah, the sun is setting and they're flying back home.
Flying back home.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone here flied before? Has flown before? When we were kids, we were used to, we were saying, okay, can we become birds? If we have wings, can we fly? Right? And so this flight is about flying in the mind. Like flying. I feel I'm flying. So returning home. The word returning is also beautiful, right? I return. We have two other angels who just arrived. Welcome. Om Shanti. Any guesses who has arrived? Om Shanti. Welcome. Come. Any guesses who has arrived?
Arul Ben.
Arul Ben. She will also come. And two other angels have just arrived. Hi, hello, Boli. Come. Say hello to everyone.
Om Shanti.
We have the
Om Shanti, Kiran Ben.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Kiran Ben.
Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti, Rekha Ben.
Om Shanti, Kiran Ben.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
और कौन है? पोशिका बहन. ओम शांति.
Om Shanti.
ओम शांति. और कौन पहुंचे हैं भाई? चेहरा दिखाइए थोड़ा.
Kiran Ben, Rekha Ben, Pushika Ben, Subhash Ben.
ओम शांति. रेखा बहन.
Om
पोशिका
Shanti.
बहन.
Om Shanti.
ओम शांति.
Poshika Ben and Rekha Ben are talking.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Mm.
Om Shanti.
Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti. I love you.
हाँ सब ठीक है, सब ठीक है. हाँ.
वो पारुल बहन नहीं पहुंची है?
अभी
Yeah. He's about to
आएंगे.
reach.
हाँ,
Yeah.
अभी आएंगे.
अच्छा आने वाले हैं.
हाँ अभी
अच्छा है आप लोग सेवा का भी चांस मिला बाबा के घर में. योग करने का भी चांस.
Mm.
Good.
Right.
ओम शांति.
Thank you.
Om Shanti.
We all take tours, right? And so this is the magic about home is that it feels good to leave and it feels even better to come back. Right? It feels good to leave. We feel, okay, now it's good. We are leaving, we are going out, work, or for some trip. It feels even better to come back. And these days we are homebound, most of us. But then we also want to go out of home so that we can go out. And why do we go out of home? Why do we want to go out from our home? Change. Yeah. To have, because staying at home for a long time can be boring also. So we want change, we want entertainment, we want to go out. But then after going on a vacation for a long period of time, then we say, okay, now I want to go home. Now I want to return home. Now it's time to return home. And then we long for it. We want to really, because it's like, I can sleep wherever, but to sleep in the bed at home and in the pillow, right? That's a different feeling altogether, isn't it? East or West home is the best. Yeah, sweet home. So if we think about like in our spiritual dimension also in that way, that there was a time that we used to live as spiritual beings in our home of light, and it felt a little boring. Say, okay, let us go out for an expedition on a journey. And which planet did we choose to come? It's called Earth. And okay, there's like a little blue planet over there. It's rotating. It looks beautiful. Let us go and let us start from beginning. Let us experience what is it to be alive in this body, right? And then we've been playing our roles for a long time. And it's also now good to be back. Say home is a place you grow up wanting to leave and grow old wanting to get back to. Isn't it true? I was talking to Parul Ben yesterday. She was saying that we really have this feeling now that their homeland is in India. That's where they grew up. But they said now we're really feeling like wanting to go home. When we are kids, we want to grow up and we want to leave, go explore the world. But then when we have done it and we explored it, then it's like a whole journey. It's like a culmination of this journey. So the moment I think of the word home, this word journey is associated with it. I automatically remember that. So there is a little clip about nostalgia. It's very interesting. Found it yesterday. Let's just watch it and see what we learn from it. Just a second.
The temperature of our favourite time of the year, the sight of the landscape of the environment we grew up in, the taste of a home-cooked meal, the emotion of an old song that we once listened to on repeat for a month straight. All of these things elicit a feeling so unique and powerful that it appears to transcend time and space. It brings us into a state of being that cannot be described with anything other than just this one word. It is nostalgia. Nostalgia is one of the most unique and valuable capacities of the human mind. It is the closest thing we have to time travel. It gives us an opportunity to experience moments of our life while being completely free from our normal anxieties and uncertainties. In general, every moment in life carries with it a set of fears, anxieties, and stresses. We are always concerned with making the next moment perfect, and we worry about what tomorrow may or may not bring. But nostalgia frees us from this. When we experience nostalgia, we are given an opportunity to feel a moment as it truly was, void of any fear or uncertainty. This is because the circumstances that we worried about at the time have already passed. At the time, our worries lied in the uncertainty of what the next several days, months, or years would bring. But those days have since passed. We have lived through the times that we were worried about, and here we are, doing just fine. Ironically, letting the state of nostalgia carry us into the past can remind us of the importance of appreciating the present. It shows us that our desire to perfect all the moments of life is foolish and unnecessary. It shows us that our fears and worries regarding the future are irrational and insignificant. And it shows us that we are resilient and adaptable, and that no matter what life throws at us, we can sustain and continue to create meaningful, positive moments. Nostalgia provides clarity in that even the moments that may have been stressful and did not seem so good at the time can still carry a sense of great value and appreciation when viewed through the lens of hindsight. This very moment in time, despite if there are things going on that may seem negative or stressful, will likely still have a feeling of nostalgia attached to it when you are reminded of it in the future. And if this is true, why not appreciate it right now as well? Thank you for watching. If you found enjoyment and value in this video,
like being nostalgic allows us to relive that moment, but without having any fear or anxiety of uncertainty associated to it. So sometimes we can relive our past memories. Right? We have had good times, but when at that time maybe we may not be feeling it, but now when we look back in the hindsight, we feel that way. So that's what, when we learn in meditation, this is the time, the confluence, when we can be nostalgic about our home, because this is when we realize that we really have a home and we used to live there and we can go back there. And so when we talk about meditation, it's all about being nostalgic. Even when we have had good moments in meditation, we've gone to Mount Abu or any other places in meditation. We've had such beautiful experiences. This last Monday, actually, I was going through my journey and I was sharing with a group, and I just felt so happy inside when I was sharing through everything, and it lasted for a couple of days, that sense of happiness and fulfillment. Just when when we recollect how we started our spiritual journey, what happened, and what were some of the realizations. And so nostalgia is like a grammar lesson. You find the present tense and the past perfect. In grammar, we have past, present, right? And then we have past perfect also. So we find the present means like, because with that feeling, we're able to appreciate this moment, that all of that has brought me here right now. And suddenly I begin to see the perfection in the past. Everything that has happened was so meaningful. It was all based on a purpose. It had a purpose that brought me here. Right? And so, doctors say that there's actually a science behind nostalgia. And previously, nostalgia used to be seen as a weakness, but now actually it is seen as a strength.
What is nostalgia? Nostalgia is a feeling of longing for past events, objects, or stimuli that have sentimental value to a person. Before, nostalgia was considered a negative feeling and was seen as an inability to move on from the past, but was proven wrong later on. The feeling can be triggered when the five senses came into contact with the stimuli that causes nostalgia, such as when you watch a childhood film once again, or when a certain memory is recalled that involves the past. Brief history on the definition of nostalgia. Nostalgia was once considered as a mental illness which is caused by trauma from being separated from one's hometown. This was first seen in soldiers who suffered physical conditions caused by trauma. Nostalgia was then redefined as a great feeling of being homesick instead of being considered as a form of mental illness. The most recent and most well-known definition of nostalgia in the present is the general feeling of longing for the past. Positive effects of nostalgia. From being seen as a form of mental illness to an inability to let go of the past, nostalgia in the current times is ironically seen as a positive sign of mental well-being. It was found out on various studies that being able to reconnect with the good times of the past has reduced the stress of those who experience nostalgia, as they are able to relive the times in which they do not have to face the current problems they have. Nostalgia has always been considered as a very strong feeling, which is true, due to the strong sense of familiarity and comfort it can give to a person with just a single stimulus that can trigger it.
So anyone has any thoughts to share, or any nostalgic moments to share from the past, or anything that we feel that connection right now? Feel free to share. Any thoughts on being nostalgic? Like yesterday, we were listening to a class by a senior sister, and she was sharing her experiences of spending time with senior meditators in India. And as she was explaining, we could also feel it, and we were kind of transported, and we could also feel it is happening to us right now. And then this is how we can come closer to someone's experience. From someone's experience, we can learn and make it our own. And in the same way, the more we remember, like for me, the moment, the first time when I visited Mount Abu, the very first time, when Mount Abu is where our international headquarters are, meditation. And the very first time, I clearly remember, when we were taking the train and there were some mountains. All of a sudden, as soon as it reached, right, Aravali mountains, and then we took a car, and then the moment the car entered, just all those memories are very clear. I just feel that this is where I belong. The moment I enter the premises, we have 3 premises, one downstairs and one then in the mountain. And the moment you go there, you feel like, I was just feeling this is where I belong. I've come home. I don't know like any specific memory, but just the feeling that this is where Like last weekend, we went to Simran Bhai's home, and I was driving by because I used to live there. I used to drive there for work every day and come back home. And so as soon as I hit that road, like all those, that feeling, you know?
Yeah, 4 minutes.
Yeah. I was like, now I have to take a ride. This is where I used to live, you know? All those feelings. And suddenly I felt nostalgic about it. Okay, this is where I used to live, and all the good memories. Okay, we used to meet here. This is how it used to be. Yeah, it suddenly comes to life. Right? And just the feeling, okay, this is such a great emotion to carry. And with that, we have our angels here. Meena Ben, Manoj Bhai are here. Welcome. Kaise hain Manoj Bhai, Meena Ben, welcome.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti,
Om Shanti.
Suddenly, all those, we were just talking about nostalgia.
Huh?
We were just talking about nostalgia
Oh,
and returning home. Like we all have childhood, right? And we all have our times when we found our ground in meditation, we found the divine, right? And so the more we just stay in those experiences, the more we forget everything, like any problems or little details that we have made big right now in the present. And we suddenly feel, okay, this is where I belong now. Right. So in science also, they are saying that to be nostalgic is actually good for our health, because it allows us to relive because when we are reliving, when we are in that moment, at that time, we may be just thinking about, okay, what I have to do next. But now we can revisit our entire story and feel, okay, how it has brought me to this point now. And what happens is, that's why it is so important in meditation, is to hold on to those positive experiences. That's why we have, like whenever we go out, maybe to Peace Village or to Mount Abu Madhuban or to other centers, whenever we travel together. So that Monday when I was in that group, so, remember Tanuj Bhai used to be there. And so he was saying that I remember all the moments that we used to drive together. And he said that I remember that we were discussing once that in America, we have this great fortune that their distances are so much that we have time in the car together. And that allows us to connect spiritually, that allows us to share, our journey and allow us to come closer to the divine that way. It's so good to hold on to such experiences and moments. So we say stay home and stay safe. And in these times of pandemic, that's what the government also says, stay home and stay safe. So the more I stay home, means I'm staying in my origin. I stay safe. And in meditation, it's also like that. The more I stay home, I stay safe from, what do I say, stay from? Waste, yeah. I stay safe from waste, right? I stay safe from illusion, right? We call it Maya. So very easy way to stay safe from that is to just stay home. So home also in our spiritual realm, but also what brought us to this spiritual path? Why are we here? Why am I on this path? What has led me to this? Like that my origin. Right. And with that, we have Parul Ben and Atul Bhai with us. Welcome, Parul Ben and Atul Bhai. Welcome, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Parul Ben and Atul Bhai are here. Welcome. And so, does anyone know this person here? Om Shanti, welcome.
Einstein?
Anyone knows this person? Atul Bhai, do you know this person?
Yeah.
Yeah? Einstein, yeah. Very nice. Has anyone met him before? No?
Read about him.
Read about him. Yeah. So what he says is we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So any problems? Does anyone have any problems in their life? No problems, right? No problem.
No one having problem.
Yesterday, someone sent me a clip, and it was to do with a Japanese person. So he always says no problem. No, that's how, for someone there was a scooter or a motorcycle. It was someone else's motorcycle. So someone comes, he says, "This is a beautiful motorcycle." I said, "No problem." Say, "Can I ride it?" "No problem." So he takes that bike, and then the owner actually is looking for that motorcycle. But this person says, "No problem, no problem." Yeah, but that's the only word he knew in English. No problem. So that's good, right? If you only know that word, no problem. It's like we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So if there is any problem, who created it? It's important to
our thoughts.
big realization that if there is any problem that I'm facing, no one else created it. I have created it based on my perspective, my beliefs. And who can solve it? No one else can solve it. Yeah, no one else can solve it. And how can I solve it?
I can change my thought.
I can change.
But by changing the thought
So
process.
I can go to that perspective. So when we are talking about nostalgia, returning home. So when I take my mind over to that zone, then suddenly I feel empowered. Suddenly I begin to look at this present moment from that perspective. And so then everything begins to make sense. And then I'm easily able to let go of whatever little thing that may be bothering me. So let us watch a little clip that allows us to ground us in our truth, in our reality of who we are and where we have come from. And how meditation is all about just invoking or emerging.
Look into the mirror, we see our face simply reflecting back to us. Our mirror reflection shows us only the outside. Like what we see in life, it's not necessarily the whole truth. To understand ourselves fully, we need to look within. Spirituality makes us aware of two parts of ourselves. One is our body, and the other, subtle and invisible part, is our being. Our body is visible and obvious, but our being is an incognito power, a soul, invisible to the eye and little understood. Raj Yoga defines it as a tiny luminous energy point. It's the animating force of life that moves our bodies. Most human problems exist because we forget our inner selves. We just stay in the outer world of reflections and insubstantial mirages. When we are aware of our spiritual identity, it changes our perception, and we see things and people differently. When we see the soul, we are blind to the vision of caste, culture, language, or nationality. We don't see Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Chinese, European, or African. We see only spiritual beings, brothers and sisters of the human family. We enter into the quiet peace and clarity of Raj Yoga, and meditation shows us the truth of this, and it changes everything. To have seen the beauty and power of the soul awakens all the qualities and virtues. The colors of the self come alive. Peace, love, happiness, and the feeling of fortune flow into our consciousness. They are no longer beyond our reach, but the tangible and real nature of each of us. Throughout the day, take moments to remember and feel again what it's like simply just to be a pure and peaceful soul.
Now it is clear that we are all souls. Each answer opens up new questions. We know that we are pure, peaceful, eternal souls, but where do we come from? And where do we go when our time here on earth is completed? How can we think about our continuity?
It is important to know our own selves truly. And it is also very important to know what lies beyond our familiar universe and reach the world of our origins. Science has told us about our galaxy and the stars. But beyond this is another region, outside the range of science. We can go there with our understanding and experience it through our minds. Our human mind is such a power that it can reach anywhere within a second. The incorporeal world is the ancient home of souls, where we all dwell in eternity. It is a golden, red, self-luminous space, unreachable in our material bodies. All of us can recognize our worldly homes. But in this world, there are very few who know their spiritual home, or have even thought about it. Once we have understood it and experienced it in our minds, it becomes easy. The world of souls is a realm of deepest peace and silence. Whenever we wish, we can go there in meditation. Raj Yoga is not a hard discipline, but a very simple practice. It is just a matter of awareness and recalling an ancient memory, returning to the time when we were there, shining in perfect peace. This remembrance is yoga. We souls used to float in luminous space like stars, silently and peacefully. All we have to do is think about this state of being. Even though we are here in our bodies, we can feel that ancient and profound silence. Astronauts have wondered at the vastness and the silence of deep space. But the peace and stillness of the world of souls is far deeper and filled with the feeling of bliss. Whenever we wish, we can make the mental journey to that silent world and fill ourselves with quiet. This is our home of peace, where we can fill ourselves with as much serenity and tranquility as we want. Out there is only peace upon peace.
How does it feel to even just look at and visualize our home? That's what meditation is all about. Just to realize where we have come from. To experience that silence of our original eternal home. And then what happens is we begin to listen to how do we listen to silence? Can we listen to silence? Huh? Listening to silence is like when there is when there's nothing else, like everything, the chatter in the mind has subsided, then all I experience is that silence. And then I begin to listen to the silence. The words listen, how many letters are there in the word listen? 6. And with the same letters, there is another word that we can form. And what is that word?
Silent.
Silent, right? Same letters, isn't it? Yeah. Listen, L-I-S-T-E-N, and silent, S-I-L-A-N-T, silent. So in meditation, I begin to listen to the silence. And when I listen to the silence, I can listen to whom? Myself, right? And only in silence can I listen to God. And you know the reason why? No other thing. Because how does God speak? They say God whispers. We can only listen to God when we are completely silent. And that's why returning home allows me or opens up this beautiful dimension of listening to God. Then I begin to listen to God. So I don't have to say much, but internally, when I have journeyed to my home of silence, then I begin to listen to God as a very live experience. And then I begin to re-emerge my moments with the divine. Because we are all children of that one. So we all have a personal connection with the one. But we've forgotten. Why we've forgotten? Because we've come into the story and we have gotten, busy with the detail over here. But when I take this journey back home, I meet my eternal parent, God. And then I begin to listen to the sound of silence. And how is that sound? When I meet God, how do I feel? Happiness, peace. If suddenly I come to know that tomorrow morning I have an appointment with President Biden, and he's gonna send me a charter plane, and I'm gonna get into it and go to Washington, right? Go to Washington to meet him. I have an 8 o'clock appointment with him. How will I feel? Excited. Right? I have to, meet him, and I'll meet him, and I'll probably record the meeting, or, I will try to maybe, not wash my shirt after meeting him, right? Yeah. And so President Biden is the president of, and God is the president of. So I can meet God every morning. Every morning. And we all do that. That's what our morning time is. We're meeting the president of the universe. A very, like a one-on-one. President may not give us one-on-one time. Can he give us one-on-one time? We may meet in a group, right? But that also he may or may not talk to us. Even if he talks, it could be just for a few seconds. But here, and this meeting is free of cost. We don't, it's just a mental journey which I can take. So I return home, I take the journey back home, and then I'm face to face with God. And I meet God. I listen to God. That is meditation. Is it easy or difficult? Very easy. It is very easy. So what is the first step? What is the first step?
Wake up.
Wake up, right? Wake up. That's a good one. Wake up. And what do we have to remember first? What journey we have to take? I am a soul, right? Connected with God, right?
Clear of my thoughts.
Clear of thoughts. Yeah. So if something is bothering me and it's not allowing me to remember that I am a soul easily, then today what we have learned, what we can remember? Yeah. Yeah, we can remember the moments in this life. We can easily remember the moments in this life. We all know. It's all recorded. So we can remember the good moments that has allowed us to take the spiritual path. And we walk our own experiences, right? So that nostalgia allows us to take our mind away from anything that is bothering the mind in the moment. And that will then allow me to have a space in my mind that is completely free. And then I can remember who I am. I take the journey back home very easily. And then I can meet God. It all happens automatically. Automatically. And so then all these three, we say Swarup, Swadharam, and Swadesh. My eternal form is called Swarup. My eternal nature is called Swadharam. And my eternal home is called Swadesh. Parulban and Atulbai are going back to Swadesh. Swadesh. Right. Has anyone watched the movie Swadesh?
Yeah, I was going to say Saurabhai. Yeah, they are also taking that journey.
Yeah.
Parulban, आप भी ट्रक लेके जाएंगे वहाँ पे बस लेके गुजरात.
There's this feeling, this yearning, that longing. There's that longing to go back to home when the time comes. And so in the same way, it's like my Swarup is a point of light. It's my real Swarup. The physical body is it's a temporary Swarup. It's not the real Swarup. And my Swadharam, my eternal nature is?
Peace.
Peace. Peace. And my eternal home is my Swadesh. Do we want to go there? Yeah?
Yes. We're nostalgic about it now.
Nostalgic about our Swadesh.
Brother, only you can take us. Brother, only you can take us.
No, we'll all fly
To our
back.
dear Swadesh. We will follow you.
Fly back together.
Yeah. Where you go, don't forget us.
No, we will all go back.
Take us with you.
Yeah, no, fly back together.
Because we don't know the way. You know the way.
No, it's just a 1 second, instant. So in month of July, we remembered a very senior sister. Her name is Didi Manmohini. And there's one practice that she always did. And what was that practice?
Time to go home.
Return.
her meditation was like, ab ghar jana hai. The time to go. Now. Now means now. Time to go. So if I say now is the time to go. Now is the time to go. So the moment I say now is the time to go, and I keep on remembering now is the time to go, then automatically I remember when I go home, can I take this body with me? Can I take my home with me?
No.
My car with me?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing I can take. So automatically I get detached. Automatically I remember, okay, I am a spiritual being. And I know where I am going and who is waiting there for me?
Baba.
Baba.
God, yeah, God is waiting for me. And so meditation becomes a very personal and beautiful experience. So I look forward to it. Ab ghar jana hai, now I have to go home. And when we go to our material home, then we have to do packing, we have to book flight tickets, right? We have to move our home. There's a lot of things to do. Maybe Parul Ben and Atul Bhai can share with us later, how much plan. Right? But here there is not much planning to do. You can easily go. Easily go. So this is Swarup, Swadharam, Swadesh. I realize I am a point of light. My nature, true nature is peace. And God is waiting for me in my Swadesh.
It's the only place we don't see any lines.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Nobody's in line.
Nobody is in
line.
Right? No one is in
That's
line.
where everybody's going, but nobody's in line.
No one is in line. Right. Beautiful.
By moving to our physical Swadesh, it's different. We can accumulate certain things, but for our real Swadesh, we cannot take even a single pin.
We cannot even a single pin. Right? Yeah. So this realization that whatever I'm surrounded by, either people or objects, I cannot take anything with me. So when I think now is the time to go home, then I'll say, then why am I thinking about it? If I cannot take it with me, some things that you cannot take with you to India, you won't think about it. I'll say, okay.
Now even do you take your karma with you?
Yeah.
Or not?
Yes. I just take karma.
Not only thing you can.
Only thing.
Only you can carry it. It's karma.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
Just like you go on the vacation, you know that you have to go back home, okay?
Yeah.
But when you go on the vacation, you bring your memory back, but everything is gone. Same thing, you are on vacation right now.
Right. Yeah. This realization allows me to focus on my, what can I take back with me?
Karmas.
What do I have to focus on now?
Sanskars.
My karma, that's it. Whatever anyone else is playing their part, is it something my business or something that I need to think about?
No, it's their karmas.
Their karma. And what I do is my karma. I'll receive the fruit of their karma or my karma?
My own karmas.
So we change it from no problem to not my problem.
Not my. That's a good one. Manoj Bhai says, no problem to not my problem. No, right? Not my problem. So the simple attitude allows us to really, now is the time to return. And then we experience which love, which kind of love? Supreme love.
Supreme, unconditional love.
Unconditional love. And this is like an awakening that happens. You feel that now this is, because we have forgotten, like a child who has lost his parents, maybe in a fair or a Kumbh Mela or somewhere. Right? Maybe the child has forgotten how it feels to be loved by his parents. But after many years, he suddenly finds his parents. And then what he will feel? That this is how it is to be loved, to feel loved. Everyone wants to feel loved, isn't it? We all want someone who loves us unconditionally, irrespective of what we have done or who we are or our achievements, or right? We don't want anyone to love our achievements, right? We say, no, that is not who I am. Love me for who I am. Right? If they love me for my achievements, that is selfish love. Right? That's what we say. So who is one person who can love me without my achievements, without my talents, without my skills, without even how I look or how I don't look, or what have I done, what have I not done, right? How I treat others, or how I treat even them. Who is that one being who can always love me?
God.
The Supreme.
Even if I don't love God, will he stop loving me?
No, he'll still love us.
Even if I forget God, will he forget me?
No, he'll still remember us.
He'll still remember. So that kind of love is what we begin to experience in meditation. It is a very natural experience. So I don't have to sit and visualize, imagine a lot. No, very simply. I belong to the divine belongs to me. And just this feeling is of being loved. Being loved. So the supreme love. It's time to
go back home.
It's time to go home. It's time to go home. So the more I realize, what do I feel? Do I feel I have to let go of a lot? I have to prepare. What emotion does it bring in my mind? It's time to go home. Or do I feel excited? Relief.
Yeah. Excited also.
Excited. Do I have to leave a lot of things, or do I have to gain a lot of things? Gain. It's like, I went to Peace Village, and then when I was returning back, the last few minutes, just feel, right? Okay, now I'm coming back home. From wherever we go, right? Then Meena Bon was here that time, and with another angel, and they were decorating and cleaning up the entire home. I was so happy to see that, and so touched by that kind gesture also.
I was thinking home, heart, okay?
Yeah, I was waiting for that, right? Yes, Meena Ben will preview it.
Heart of my energy, you know.
Heart of my energy is home. Right.
Heart of my energy, yeah, very nice.
Time to go home. Time to go home. And in home, I have to be just myself. Just myself. I don't have to pretend to be anyone else. I just have to be myself. Right. So Om Shanti. Let us take a few moments in meditation, and we will together go on this journey and experience going home.
The traveller is the diamond spark, the soul. The traveller is the jewel between the eyes. The traveller is you. The traveller, the diamond spark, the soul, stands alone. Therefore, the wise traveller becomes the sage, only holding on to what is permanent.
The traveler is the soul. Soul is the traveler. The soul is you. Consciousness is everything. Losing soul consciousness, the traveler carries the 1,001 fears with all their names. These all are extra weight, unnecessary baggage. The road will seem longer, the journey more difficult. Remember who you are and travel light.
Remember who you are and travel light.
Truth is the companion, faithful through time. And so the wise traveler never fears solitude. And you are the traveler, unique and undivided, never absorbed.
You do not need to bend time to find me. It is all easier than you have been told.
Simply change your consciousness. Know yourself.
Know yourself. You are the jewel between your own eyes. Know this and come. Come and know me with your mind.
Father and child. Union
of silence. This is yoga.
You, the incorporeal, with your incorporeal Father. Relationship.
Just for a moment. Just where you are. Let your thoughts slip into silence.